and welcome to Council Catch-Up here on WSTO TV. I'm your host, Derek Westby, and we're here to talk about the November 11th, 2025 City Council meeting, and I'm here with Mayor Swadley. Welcome.
Morning.
So you had the whole meeting yesterday with the public hearing on the budget, but we'll talk about that later. Under communications and presentations, there were quite a few presentations.
Yeah, we had a number of communications. President Schumacher kind of acknowledged Veterans Day, and he read a letter from years ago. That was really interesting to see what service people at that time wrote to the family and friends. I did some research on that. We had the Senior Center, Cindy McGlynn was there. They received an accreditation, so she had a plaque, and that was exciting for them. It's a process that they go through every 5 years. We had an update from Mike Heger from the food pantry. The food pantry is in a pretty good financial position, even with all the funding uncertainties. People have been extremely generous. If you're looking to help support the food pantry, you can reach out to them or contact the clerk's office at City Hall. We also had the clerk, Candy Christian, gave an update on the application process for those that might want to serve our city in the spring election. So there's an application process to go through for that.
Okay, and then after that was the consent agenda, followed by some old business, the adoption of the budget.
Yeah, so I did a brief presentation just kind of highlighting the budget. We had done that at the previous council meeting as well as at finance committee meetings. And our budget came out pretty well this year. We were able to add a few positions. In Public Works, we added 2 positions. We added a position in the planning department and a part-time position at the library, as well as the city's funding portion for the school resource officer. And we were able to do that because we had a record net new construction, which allows us to raise our revenue. We have more property tax revenue coming in, and it's spread out through more residents, so the impact would be fairly minimal. And we switched health insurance providers, which saved the city quite a bit of money, over $150,000. And then our finance department came up with some other creative ways to help create additional resources. So the budget passed unanimously.
All right. Under new business, resolution 146 of 2025, declaration of official intent.
This is basically kind of the preliminary resolution that we do for our borrowing that we'll do for our budget items for our capital improvement projects. Those funds are usually borrowed in the spring. So we'll be coming back with the details of what that'll look like at that point.
Okay. Item number 8, resolution 147 of 2025, reduction of letter of credit for RHD properties.
Yeah, so typically on these developments, we hold a letter of credit for collateral to use for like warranties, especially on stormwater ponds. This one here, we had already done a resolution, but we learned that they basically had switched financial institutions, so we had to change it from one bank to another.
Okay. Item number 9 was to amend the 2025 budget for City Hall door access controls.
Yeah, so we've been working on putting some more security features in our buildings, including City Hall. So this just authorizes the money to put in a system where we can buzz people into the building.
Okay. Item number 10, resolution 149, is a new position at utilities.
Yeah, so Stoughton Utilities has a few positions that they've eliminated, and then they've created some new positions, including administrative assistant. And then this position here is a full-time automation coordinator. So this person will serve in the technology area at Stoughton Utilities. So they'll be like the backup for any IT work that needs to be done there, as well as what they call their SCADA system, which is basically the communication system between the electrical, the wastewater, and their different stations they have. So right now, a lot of that is monitored manually. So we're trying to get more into the technology base so we can get alerts if there's something going on with this within the system.
All right. Item number 11 looks like it was the Stoughton Utilities budget for next year.
Yeah, Stoughton Utilities budget we covered pretty well in depth at the last city council meeting, and that one also passed.
All right. Resolution 151 of 2025 to join the Renew the Blue Council.
Yeah, so Renew the Blue, their focus is on basically the Madison Lakes or the Yahara watershed, basically the rivers. And we decided that we would join them. President Schumacher is one of their board members, and then we'll be looking for kind of a delegate to join them. And they help us with our other partners with like Yahara Winds and focus on like phosphorus and stormwater management as well.
Okay. Item number 13 was to acquire a property along Williams Drive.
Yeah, so we basically just gave an update. We've been negotiating with some property owners on Williams Drive, and I anticipate that there'll be an offer to purchase for the city council to consider at a future meeting.
All right. Item number 14, Resolution 152 of 2025, talks about Becker Professional Services and the RDA.
Yeah, so Becker Professional Services provide a number of services for the city of Stoughton. They do economic development. They're currently working on our comprehensive plan, and they also serve as the executive director for the redevelopment authority. So this contract just kind of lays out the terms and conditions of that role.
Okay. The next couple are all relating to traffic ordinances, some parking changes and stop signs.
Yeah, so these were all ordinances which we typically have 2 readings. The City Council decided to waive the first reading and take action on all of them. And the reason is these are stop signs mostly in either the new development at Magnolia Springs or the recently reopened portion of Highway 51 East. And the parking signs are basically, parking signs and stop signs are basically already up in those areas. So we really just wanted to get our ordinances caught up with the signage so we can actually enforce them if there is an issue.
All right, and then Ordinance 39 was relating to crossing guards.
Yeah, so we did some tweaks in the language with crossing guards. The way our ordinance read, we had to have city council approval to hire crossing guards, and we really wanted to streamline the process and be able to do that internally.
Okay. The last item on the agenda was Resolution 153, relating to an offered purchase, Glacier Moraine LLC.
Yeah, so that one there, we basically postponed the discussion on that one. The prospective buyers have decided that they need more time to close on the property, and we still haven't agreed to what that date might be. So we're trying to set up a meeting with them hopefully next week to kind of nail that down. When we move the closing date on that, it could affect some of the financial agreements we had as well. We typically, on these types of transactions, have an expectation of when a building would be constructed, what the value would be, and when we would be able to collect property taxes on that. So we just want to make sure we're all on the same page before we agree to a closing date.
All right. That's all we had for the November 11th, 2025 City Council meeting. We'll see you next time on Council Catch Up.